Imagine waking up. The ground begins to shake. A blinding fireball tears across the sky. Then, boom. The explosion is so powerful that it knocks people off their feet over 40 miles away. Windows shatter hundreds of miles from the blast. The shockwave circles the Earth twice. Yet, there is no crater, no impact site, no obvious meteorite. More than a century later, scientists are still studying one of the strangest explosions in human history. This is the mystery of the Tunguska Event. It was June 30th, 1908. Deep within the remote forests of Siberia, Russia, life was quiet. The region was almost completely untouched wilderness. Only small groups of indigenous Evenki people lived among the endless pine forests. Around 7:15 that morning, witnesses saw something incredible. A brilliant blue-white object streaked across the sky. Some described it as brighter than the sun. Others said the sky appeared to split open. The object raced across hundreds of miles before it suddenly exploded. Not when it hit the Earth, but several miles above it. The blast released an estimated 10 to 15 megatons of energy, roughly 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The heat was so intense that people miles away said they felt like their shirts had caught fire. The explosion unleashed a massive shockwave. Within seconds, trees began falling like dominoes. More than 80 million trees were knocked flat. An area covering roughly 830 square miles was completely devastated. That's larger than many major cities. If you looked from above, the trees formed a strange butterfly pattern, all pointing away from the center of the explosion. Yet right in the middle, many trees were still standing. Their branches had been ripped away, leaving eerie, stripped tree trunks that looked like giant telephone poles. Even stranger, there was no crater. Nothing had slammed into the ground. It was as though something had exploded in mid-air and simply vanished. The explosion was so massive that people across Europe noticed strange effects. For several nights, the skies glowed bright enough that newspapers could be read outdoors at midnight. Scientists believe tiny particles from the explosion were thrown high into Earth's atmosphere, scattering sunlight around the globe. Seismic stations detected the blast. Air pressure sensors thousands of miles away recorded the shockwave. Yet despite all this, nobody immediately investigated. Why? Because Russian scientist Leonid Kulik expected to find a giant impact crater. Instead, he found millions of fallen trees, but absolutely no crater, no massive chunks of metal, no giant meteorite, nothing. The evidence suggested that whatever entered Earth's atmosphere never actually reached the ground. Instead, scientists now believe it exploded roughly 3 to 6 miles above the surface. The leading theory is that it was an asteroid about 160 to 200 feet wide. As it slammed into Earth's atmosphere at incredible speed, pressure built inside the rock until it exploded in what's known as an airburst. The blast released nearly all of its energy before ever touching the Earth. The scary part: this wasn't a 1 in a billion event. Objects like the Tunguska asteroid pass near Earth more often than many people realize. Fortunately, most are discovered long before they become dangerous. NASA and observatories around the world now track thousands of near-Earth asteroids. If a Tunguska-sized object exploded over a major city today, the destruction could be catastrophic. Entire neighborhoods could be leveled. Millions of windows would shatter. Infrastructure could be crippled for miles. It's a reminder that our planet still exists in a cosmic shooting gallery. More than a century later, the forests of Siberia have grown back. Nature has erased almost every visible sign of the explosion. But the mystery remains one of the greatest natural disasters in modern history. One silent visitor from space exploded above an empty forest and changed our understanding of just how vulnerable Earth really is. If Tunguska had happened over New York, London, or Tokyo, history itself might have been very different. And somewhere out there, objects just like it are still orbiting the sun. What incredible event should we uncover next? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable true stories from history, science, and beyond.